Hello, hello. So today we are going to be getting to part three of our series on how did mathematics get secularized. And today we're going to talk about the proof in math and political power. In yesterday's video, we discussed how mathematics evolved throughout history. We began by confronting abstract concepts and recognizing patterns. We formalized these abstractions, and then counting emerged. Once we could count, we figured out how to measure things, and the ability to count and the ability to measure were big deals when it came to the progression of society. The pyramids of Egypt were built, calendars and sundials were designed, commerce and trade emerged. We could even track the movements of the planets and the stars. In these examples, it may be obvious that the discovery and application of math progressed society forward. And math progressed further still. There was one more key revelation. Beyond counting and measuring, we began to leverage the math proof, the ability to solve problems that were not directly in front of us, the ability to solve problems in the abstracts. And the math proof pushed society forward, just as much as our discovery of how to count and how to measure. Every scientific and technological advancement in society is preceded by a breakthrough in mathematics, meaning, once a new mathematical idea is discovered, it takes a while for it to be agreed upon and digested. Then, new scientific breakthroughs occur, leveraging and applying that new math. Proof marked the invention of the field of mathematics. Once we move past the ancient stuff, the discourse surrounding the history of mathematics really shifts towards being about great men. These people were truly deified and idolized. Geniuses who could see the beauty of the universe. They were graduating college at the age of 12, and even the notes they scribbled on their lunch napkins changed the world. And if you get into mathematics, you'll hear about many of these people. And much of the history of mathematics that is taught formally or discussed in mathematical circles talks about the 1500s to the 1900s, and it's all about these great men. And there's a consistent undercurrent here when you explore the stories of these dudes. Mathematicians are political assets. Their life stories all follow the same basic formats. They hop from one prestigious position in one European country to another prestigious position in another European country. Rather than focus on the mathematicians, I found a wonderful article that takes the point of view of the politician. And it is the story of the rise of the Russian Empire. Wikipedia calls the Russian Empire the third largest empire in history and was an international powerhouse for about 200 years. So let's explore the relationship between math and politics from the point of view of the politician. The year is 1682. Russia's Peter I was 10 years old when he received his crown. Due to family and political issues, he was removed from his court. This proved to be a boon to his rulership because he escaped the traditional Russian Orthodox education, and he got to travel and gallivant around, getting exposed to a number of European mathematicians at an early age. Russia at the time was not into math, likening it to witchcraft. Books in the written word were considered the realm of God, and only books about the Lord could be printed. So that posed a serious challenge for the spreading of knowledge in the country. The royal court had foreign astrologers, but besides that, the country was void of mathematicians, and compared to other nations, they were, for lack of a better word, behind. Peter was exposed to the rest of Europe and began to have some harsh realizations about the state of the nation he ruled. Their warring technology was obsolete compared to the rest of the world. Their ships were poorly built, and this was important because Russia was warring literally all the time. From his travels throughout Europe, Peter analyzed how different nations solved different problems. And the conclusion that he came to was that theory was king. And when he came back home to assume his throne, he focused largely on a mathematical reform. Russians were doing math using the Cyrillic alphabet and notation systems and had not adopted the Arabic numerals, which are the numbers as we know them today, like one and six, like the numbers. So Peter changed that. And there was only one unit of currency circulated, a single coin called the kopeck, and its value was very small. So Peter changed that, adding more coins of more diverse values into the country. Peter changed the metrology, meaning the units that were used to measure things. Peter changed the calendar, deciding that the new year should be January 1st rather than September 1st. And Peter did everything that he could to coax the best mathematicians from around the world to study and hold seats in Russia. The change was rapid and startling to Russians. Peter was openly referred to as the devil by his people. The workers at his printing shops would refuse to publish books on math, fearing that God would smite them for doing so. But in just about 30 years, the state of mathematics in Russia was completely changed. And from this pursuit of mathematics and this pursuit of mathematicians, the Russian Empire was born and it grew to be one of the most powerful empires in human history. And this is just one story, one example, but it serves to illuminate a point. Mathematics is powerful, and for much of human history, mathematicians were prized political assets. This certainly doesn't feel like the world we live in now, does it? Modern politics seem pretty far away from the realm of mathematics. And today's video might feel like it's not really addressing our question of the week. How did mathematics get secularized? But this notion of the highly politicized mathematician is critical to understand. This was the lay of the land for a while, a large chunk of history. Mathematical understanding differed from nation to nation, and this was by design. Mathematics was a part of the international game of power. But something changed. Mathematics became standardized across the globe. Nowadays, we all learn the same math. So when did this occur? And why? That is what we will discuss in tomorrow's video, wrapping up our series for this week. That's all for today's video. Today's video cites the Oxford Handbook of the History of Mathematics, specifically chapter 4.3 by Irina Gouzevitch and Dmitri Gouzevitch. All right, see you tomorrow.